Alar. Have 3 tanks spread out like this. The boss will land in one of 6 locations. It's important to have a tank on that location as soon as possible, hence the spreading out. The boss will then move around in a clockwise rotation, so have a tank in the next position. When it switches platforms, adds will spawn. Ground tank pick this up. When it dies, it explodes, so melee move away. If the boss goes into the air, it'll cast flame coils, which damages everyone on the higher platforms, so jump down. The boss will then reset back to either one of the 2 ramp platforms. When it reaches 0%, it will respawn in the middle of the room, avoid fire on the ground, tanks swap when they get melt armor. If the boss goes in the air, the whole raid needs to stack up to soak a meteor. Adds will spawn, kill these away from the group as they explode upon death. Void Reaver. Tanks generate as much threat as possible. You can't taunt this boss. The boss will knock back the main tank and drop threat from the target. Melee will take a lot of AoE damage, so have some notoriously large healers ready for that. You'll want to split each range group and spread out around the room. Someone will get targeted by Arcane Orb. Simply run away with your group as it does a lot of damage and silences you. This is the fight. To help with regaining aggro on the tanks, use misdirects and anything else you can, such as warriors dual wielding until they have to tank. High Astromancer Sirloin. This boss will stay in the middle and randomly arcane missile people. Ranged can stack here. The main mechanic of this fight is Wrath of the Astromancer. This makes you take increased arcane damage and jumps to the nearest players. To deal with this, simply run out of the raid with the debuff and have a second player come and get the debuff. Keep chaining this over and over, cycling through your raid team so nobody has multiple stacks. There is a chance that the PTR is wrong and this ability is different and acts just as a raid bomb that you need to run out with. You'll know by the first pull. Adds will spawn every minute or so, AoE them down, then kill the 2 adds that spawn with the boss. At 20%, the boss will turn into a Void Walker. All it does now is AoE fear the melee. This includes tanks, so get some tremors and fear wards out. Kael the Sunstrider. Phase 1. The first part of this fight is killing 4 adds which will respawn later. We want to kill them in certain locations to make it easier later on. First up is Thaladred. He fixates on a player, so run away. Ranged only DPS this. Try kill him towards the entrance of the room. Sanguinar. This dude does an AoE fear, so get totems and wards out. Kill him next to a wall. Copernian. Ranged only DPS this again. Have Warlock spam Searing Pain to tank this. Raid should spread out. Telenicus. He does a long stunning debuff on the tank, so be careful. You can kill him next to Sanguinar. Phase 2, weapons will spawn. Stack them together apart from the 2-handed axe, pull it away a little bit, and have a hunter get aggro on the bow and face it away from the raid. AoE all the weapons down. Once they're all dead, pick up a weapon that suits your class. Phase 3, the adds we killed earlier will now respawn together. You have 3 minutes to kill them. Melee focus Sanguinar whilst cleaving Telenicus. Ranged kill Thaladred, then Copernian. Phase 4, Kael will become active after 3 minutes. Range stack up. People will get mind controlled that can be broken by melee attacks from the Infinity Blade. A Phoenix will spawn that pulses AoE damage, kite it around. Range can cleave if they want, but it kills itself over time. When it dies, it will drop an egg. DPS need to swap and scramble that sucker within 15 seconds. Occasionally he will gain a shield that needs to be killed so you can interrupt Pyroblast on the tank, or the tank can use the shield legendary to absorb the pyro. Interrupt fireballs when you can and move out of flame strikes on the ground. At 50% health, you'll start to get thrown in the air. Make sure you're spread out as fast as possible. Don't touch the ground and don't worry about DPS when this happens. Avoid clouds in the sky. After 30 seconds you'll fall, so don't be too high.